Okay, welcome to this course on advanced list building strategies. And in this video, we are going to just give you an overview of this course. And this is going to be a little different from your typical list building course. And I know that you've heard it all before. I'm going to be telling you about a different way to go about list building. You're going to be doing all the basics. I'm going to assume that you already know how to do things like build a capture page. There are lots of courses on doing those things already. So if you know those things already, setting up an autoresponder, those are really basic level things. This is an advanced course. So I'm going to expect that you already know how to do that. You are really going to be trying to build a list of subscribers. And as always, I'm going to assume that you are going to want to put in little or no upfront investment. That's what most courses do. And so this one, in that respect, not going to be any different than any other course. Typically, a list building course will teach you how to use solo ads. We're not going to be talking about that. Typically, a list building course will talk about then how to use swaps. We're not going to be talking about that. Typically, a list building course will teach you how to use safe lists. We're not going to be talking about that. We're also not going to be talking about how to use Facebook or paid advertising, although all these things are going to be things that you can incorporate into this strategy. We're going to be talking about, again, this is an advanced concept. You're going to be going about this differently. Now, the advantage to doing things the traditional way is you can do fast list building. Right? And it doesn't cost you a lot. Solo ads don't cost you a lot. Swaps don't cost anything. Safe lists don't cost you anything. And you can, if you stay after it, you can build a list pretty fast that way. And so that does definitely work. Now, here's the problem. The problem that most of the people that are going to be getting onto your list are not going to be buyers. They're going to be people who are kicking the tires and trying to figure out whether or not they want to do internet marketing or not. And those are not going to necessarily give you a good picture of how much money you're going to make. You're going to have a smaller percentage of people opening your emails and a smaller percentage of people who are actually going to go on to buy. So is that a real indication of where the market is? Maybe not. When you send out a survey to people, you want to get people who are really going to give you an indication of where the market is and what people really do want. And your list will probably not be good for that because, again, you'll be getting these people who are going to be signing up for things just because they're free. And they're not always going to be good buyers for you. Now, what's the solution? Is to build slow list building with more buyers involved. Right, that's what this method is going to be showing you how to do. It's an advanced method. You're going to be building, you're going to be doing this a little bit slower, but you're going to be building more buyers. So when you get people and you send out an email, you're going to have more people who understand what it means to buy a product. They're going to be more open to a good offer, a good solid offer. Now, once again, this course is not going to be on the basics. If you don't know the basics, there are lots of courses out there that will tell you how to set up an autoresponder, how to send an email. This is a strategy course, and it's an advanced strategy that if you follow it, you're going to be able to build a list fast, and you're going to be able to build a list fast is going to make you more money. Okay, so that's a general overview of the course. And with that, thanks. I'll see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies. In this video, we're going to be discussing the overall strategy. And as you know, it's going to be a little different from other list building courses that you've probably already taken. And we don't just want you to get out there and, as it said, just start taking action. That's a wrong way to get started building a list that you're going to want to use in order to start making money. This is your research stage, and you want to get this right. You don't have to worry about trying to be exact or making sure that you dot all your I's and cross your T's, but you do want to get it right. You want to find out what your market is buying. You're going to sell to internet marketers. What are they buying? What kinds of things are they talking about? What problems are they having? Because really, if you don't know that, you're not going to have a product that sells. If you're going to go, let's say, and you do something on, let's say, local or Google Places. Well, Google Places doesn't exist anymore, right? So you wouldn't want to do that. So you don't want it just because you know it or just because you can teach it or just because you know a product can be made on it. That doesn't mean that you do it. Find out what your market is buying. This is a research stage. Find out what kinds of problems they're trying to solve. There's a lot of ways you can do that. Go to internet marketing forums. Start getting inside of Facebook groups. Get inside of Skype groups. Find out what questions people are asking, what questions are going unanswered. When you find those things, take note of them and figure out how to answer them. That's really a way for you to build a course. If you find out there's something that people are really struggling with, they don't know how to do, they're just learning, they're trying to figure it out, you can then create a product that will solve their need. Now, who are the players in your market? Who are the people who are selling products that are successful? Who's out there who can sell 100, 200, 300, 400 copies, and they actually do reach your niche? They actually reach out to the people that buy products in the same niche you do. Who are those people? What you want to do is start figuring out, what are they doing? What kinds of things are they putting out? Are they putting them out on a regular basis? And then for some of them, you want to buy their products. You want to find out, why are people buying their products? Why are people finding them trustworthy? What is it about their products that make people buy them over and over and over again? You want to know those things. This is research. And again, you don't have to be 100% correct, but you got to get this right. There's a difference. You have to understand what people are buying and why they're buying it. And you can find that information out. It's easy to find out if you're willing to take a little time. So don't just get in there and start creating and start building safe lists. No, do research first. Doesn't take long. Doesn't take a day or two. Find out what people are doing, and map out what you're going to do then. Okay, the key to this, and I have this here, it's not ready, fire, aim. And you hear that nowadays. That's a way to say that you want to get in and take action. And I understand that. If taking action if what is meant by taking action is not to do this research stage and not to get this right, then you need to not do that. You need to aim, right? Find out what you're shooting at. Find out where to shoot. Then get ready, then fire. In other words, find out where you need to fire, because this is a targeted method, right? You're not just going to get anybody and then sell to them. You want to get people who are buying things. You want to get people who want things, people who have a problem to solve things, and then you want to help them to solve it, right? And you can do that. So you don't want to waste your time just taking action. You want to take your time and find out who the people are that are going to buy and what they are going to buy. Do that inside of your next step. Do that inside of the forums, the Skype groups, Facebook groups, and just follow the conversation. Talk to people, watch what they're talking about, and then you start to map out what your product is going to solve. So with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies. In this video, we're going to be discussing what you're going to be doing in this next stage, which is, if you want to build a list of buyers, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? And you've probably figured out already what we're talking about here. This is the relationship stage. You might ask yourself, what does this have to do with building a list? It has everything to do with building lists. As a matter of fact, it's really a key to your being able to build a list that's going to be effective and long-term and have buyers in it. This is the key to list building, your relationships. And what you're starting in this stage, you're going to continue to do. This is not something that you do one time and that it lasts for a little while and then you go about your business. When you start building relationships, you build them for the rest of your marketing career, or however long you do internet marketing. You're going to start building relationships with product creators and affiliates. So who's promoting things? Okay, who is out selling things for other marketers, and who is creating products? You need to start building relationships with these people and get to know them. Connect with them on social media. If they tweet, right, get with them and find out what they're tweeting and start talking to them. Talking to them on Facebook, wherever they are. If they're on Pinterest, get to know them on Pinterest. If they're on Google+, get to know them on Google+. Get to know them on the social networks. Okay, that's an easy way. It's one of the great ways to get to know people, and you're actually doing things. You're actually getting to know them on a personal level. So this is not going to be, you're not going to use these social networks to try to hit them up with your stuff, right? You're doing this to get to know them on an area other than their product creation and promotion. Get to know these people on online forums. Find out, see what they're posting. Right? See what they are responding to. See what they're selling, if they're selling on the forum. Find out, look and get to know them. If you need to, PM them or private message them a question. Right? Oftentimes, they probably is too busy and they won't respond to you. Right? But that's okay. You're going to get to know them. Right? You want to get to know who they are. Buy their products. We talked about that before. And that's a great way to get someone's attention. And when you start your conversation by, hey, you know what? I have your X product. Well, that's automatically going to get their attention. It doesn't even matter if it's a 9 or even a low-level product. When you bought something of theirs, you thought enough of them to buy something, you're going to get their attention when you say, hey, I bought your product. Doesn't mean that they're automatically going to throw their arms open to you, but when you buy their product, you will get their attention. Go to live events. Okay, go there. Go to these things. Go to conferences. Go to online events. Go to Google Hangouts. Anything live where they're presenting or they're talking or they're going to be front and center, go to those things because you're going to get the opportunity often to get to know them, and you're going to be able to do it so oftentimes where you're going to be the only one there or one of a few people there, and they're actually going to get a chance to know who you are and know your name. Right? You want to get to know them. You want them to know your name and what you are and what you do and kind of where you are in internet marketing. Get to know them socially. Listen, this is relationship 101. Now, you might feel like, well, that's not what I want to do in internet marketing. I want to make money without having to talk to people. Well, you can do that if you like. But if you talk to people just a little bit, you are going to make a lot of money because the relationships are going to be key to this strategy where you are going to build a huge list over and over and over again, year after year after year after year. Okay? Now, I got two things here now that it may be a little more obscure. These are not going to be for everybody. Not everybody can do these things. And if you're not good at writing and you're not good at producing, don't try these two things. You can write letters to them, right? Typically, their address is on the end of their autoresponder series, and you can freelance for them, right? You can do projects for them. It's almost like a freelance or barter situation. You get a chance to be on the inside and see what it is they do. But of course, once again, you're still going to have to get to know them. But this is really taking a little step further. This may take away from what you're doing. But once again, you really are going to need, a couple of affiliates that can really make things happen for you, and some product creators that can make things happen for you. And you need to get to know them. And listen to when I say this, there are going to be a lot of people who are hitting them up, calling them to ask them to promote their product. You need to be different. Right? Understand that. Anytime somebody goes in, somebody's always going to be hitting them up to promote their product to their list. You've got to make it about them. So build relationships where it's about them and not about you. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the next part of our list building process. And again, this is going to be a little different, and we're going to suggest that the next stage is getting into the game, and that you're literally, even though you don't have a list right now, you're going to create a product first. And we re-engineered this product. So we're saying this is the stage where you're going to get into the game. We have reverse engineered the process so that we have really put almost what people typically do last, and we put that first. Now, we're going to use the research that we've done, right? And that's important because we're not just going to create a product just to have a product out there. We want to create a useful, valuable product. Now, once you understand the product that you're trying to solve, if you can't and you don't have the experience in order to teach this process, you're either going to want to outsource the process of product creation, or you are going to want to use private label rights content to solve the problem. Right now, you're going to have to be careful when you use it, when you find product label rights product, because again, the key is that this needs to be a good product. It needs to have a solid understanding of what people are trying to accomplish, and you need to then take the private label rights content and you need to enhance it with case studies and social proof. In other words, you need to have some proof that this works. That's what's going to make it valuable. That's what's going to make it sell. If you have to go through a case study where you actually make money with the process, do that. It's worth the time, and that will help you when you start to sell your product and you can actually point to the fact that it does make money. You know it and you've proven it because you did it. You can enhance it with interviews of those who have had success using the method. So you have different parts of your method, whatever it is, you want to be able to find people who've already had success doing it and then interview them and then include that interview in your product. Now again, you're already going to have a pretty solid product if you use a good private label rights system. However, you're going to really make a great product if you add case studies and social proof and interviews. Okay, so you are really putting together something of high quality. You're not just throwing this together. You can sell this product on the Warrior Forum using either Warrior Plus or JVZoo, and to keep it simple. So you don't have to go looking for a membership site or anything like that. Keep it simple and sell it on the Warrior Forum or JVZoo. And this will really, this first part of the process is going to help you to build your list. Now, don't worry about the fact that if you think, well, I didn't get a lot of sales from this because not a lot of people knew about it, couldn't really get the word out. That's not necessarily the full part of this process, right? That's not the crux of it. So what we're going to do, we want to make sure we've got a high quality product. It has lots of value, and you want to make sure your price, right? You want to make sure your price reflects that. And then the most important thing is that every buyer, right? You need to set this up, and you can set this up in JVZoo so that all buyers go straight to your autoresponder, right? That's the most important part. That's the list building part, and that's the part that's going to kind of tie in to everything else we're going to be doing. So you're going to get into the game. You're going to start selling. You're going to create a product, and it should be a product based on the research that you've done. And then you want to make sure that all buyers go straight to your autoresponder. We're not going to worry about if we don't have the number of buyers that we want for a product sale right now. That's not necessarily fully the most important part of this leg of the process. The most important part, create a high quality product and put it up for sale. Make sure it's priced appropriately. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies, and in this video we're going to go to the next leg of our process, and we're calling this making the last things first. And that's because what we're doing is we're not going to go through the regular process of starting to go to look to solo ads, and although those are valid things and you can certainly use them in conjunction with this method. The next stage is we're going to create a product for sale. Now, I realize, no, you do not have a list yet. If you're following the process, no, you don't have a big following yet. That's okay. This is going to help you to build that following. You're going to create your product by using your research. In other words, what did you find out that people really want? Because that's what you're going to create the product, and that's really going to help you to create interest, even though you don't have a known name right now. Now, if you cannot create the product, you don't know enough in order to put it all together, or you know some of it, but you don't know how to write it all or to put it all in video, grab some private label rights content on the subject. Just make sure that that private label rights content helps you to answer the question that you're trying to answer. If it's something that it's really new, fairly new, you're probably going to have to create it yourself or have someone else create it, but you can definitely fill in some of the gaps by getting private label rights content. You're going to make a good product, which solves a problem, into a great product by enhancing it with case studies and social proof. And if you must create the case study and the social proof, that is the best thing for you to do. In other words, use the process in order to create a result. Use the process in order to build a list. Use the process in order to make more money. And if you do that, you will create social proof for your product and you will sell it faster. So you can enhance it with case studies and social proof. You can also enhance it with the interviews of people who have already had success. Preferably, they should be product creators, but even if they don't, as long as they can help you to create a good audio or a good video, if they've had success, you can enhance your product with interviews of these people. You can then sell that product on the Warrior Forum or on using JVZoo or Warrior Plus. You want to keep this process simple because you want to have something. You don't want to focus on, buying membership software and all those other things, and you want to keep this simple and use the processes that are already out there. It's going to cost you a little bit of money every time you actually get a sale. It's worth it because, again, a lot of these processes are things that they're going to keep up with, so don't quibble over a few cents in order to give to folks to help you to generate and make more money. Now, don't worry if you don't generate many sales for this product launch, right? Don't worry if you don't generate a lot of sales for this product launch. Remember, this is what would normally come last. This is at the beginning of the process. So remember, we've got a lot more to go that's going to help you to build this part of the product or build your list. Now, make sure that your product is high quality and have lots of value. Would you buy it? Give it to other people and other marketers. Ask them, get their opinion. Is this a high quality product? Is this worth their time? Now, as soon as people go through the buying process, you want to set this up. You can do this with Aweber, you can do this with GetResponse, and you can use either one of those autoresponders along with JVZoo or Warrior Plus, and that is every buyer automatically gets sent to your autoresponder, right? You want to set this up so that every buyer goes to your autoresponder. Now, you want to make sure also that you give them an incentive in order to sign up. Now, the other thing you're going to do naturally is when they are given access to your product, you also want to make sure that you try to catch those who did not go through the automated process by giving them an opportunity to get updates and to sign up for your list. Now, give them that opportunity. So in other words, make sure you give them every opportunity to get onto your list when they become buyers. It's a very important time, and the most crucial time to do that is when they first make the purchase or when they first go to the download page or to membership site in order to get their product. We are making this part of the process actually the first part, which would normally be the last part, because the process, if you do it correctly, is going to help you to build a buyer's list, remember, and not a tire kicker or freebie seeker list. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies, and in this video, we're going to be discussing the next phase of your list building process, which you might think is an option because we're talking about list building and we talked about product creation. Is not an option, and you're going to see why when we get to the entire course, but you must create an upsell. Okay, now there are lots of ways in which to do that. You can add on a relevant piece of software that you have developed on Odesk or on Elance, right? You can do that, where you can sometimes even find a private label rights piece of software or WordPress plugin on within the resale rights community. You can also take the concept that you are teaching them to the next level. Maybe you can add on in a more advanced method, right? If you want to do that, now, there are ways to do that, and you can add on this as an upsell. Doesn't necessarily mean, and the upsell should not be something that they need in order to succeed with your product. Okay, you can add on some case studies and more proof. That's always going to give you a more powerful product. Use PLR if you have to. Just make sure the upsell is relevant, right? You're going to use PLR for the same reason. I mean, if you can create an advanced methodology and you need to add in some explanation, use PLR, but don't use it if it's irrelevant. Now, buyers should see this offer as soon as they make the purchase of the front end product. In other words, and you can set these things up in JVZoo and Warrior Plus. They're easy to set up. All you're going to do is make sure that people are going to see an offer. You want to keep your upsell very simple. You might want to have a headline. You may not want to. You can do a video sales letter and a buy button. Keep it simple, right? You don't want anything to get in the way of you actually creating a high quality upsell, and you want to get it up and running. So as long as it is relevant, it's based on your research, it's going to help them in some way that the front end product cannot, but they should not need this in order to succeed with what you are selling them in the front end. But this is not an option. It is part of the process, and you're going to leave money on the table if you don't do this. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies, and we're going to go to the next phase and the next stage of this process. We're calling this keeping your friends close and your affiliates closer. Now, what does that mean? Well, now you've got a product, right? And so you've got a product, you've got an upsell, so you want to get people to help you sell it. Now, hopefully you will have been developing some relationships with some affiliates, with some product creators, and maybe, you're not yet there yet. Maybe they're not yet ready to trust you. That's okay, but you still want to go through this process. Get affiliates, talk to them, go through the motion of, again, asking them to promote you. Don't just approach them and just spam them on social media. Really approach people, hopefully, that you already know, right? You should work with individuals that you've already come to know. If you don't have a relationship with them, okay, you haven't built any relationship at all, and you're just gonna kind of talk to them cold, don't ask. Okay, so in this strategy, the people who can be your potential affiliates, they can help you, and you don't want to risk that relationship by just hitting them up cold. You want to build a relationship. So if you haven't had time to build a relationship with one particular market, I don't care how big they are, I don't care how easy it is to get access to them on social media, don't ask them until you've built a relationship. Now, you want to give these affiliates, and this may, hurt you a little bit, but it is part of the process. Give them 100% commissions. Now, when someone first gets to know you and you are going to help them to make money, one of the best ways to do that is give them 100% on the front end sale. Now, you can give them also an additional 50% on the back end or the upsell. But the most important thing is to make sure that they get all the money. They get all the commissions, because that's going to help them to promote. It's going to motivate them to promote, because they're going to make more on every sale. They're not going to make half of every sale. Now, you want to understand that when you pick somebody, when you decide to work with someone, when you approach someone, there's an agreement that you're probably going to be promoting their product. So make sure this is going to be somebody that you want to work with, somebody that you trust, because they're going to come to you when they've got a product. So if you don't think you're going to want to promote theirs, I don't know if it's going to be a good idea for you to get them to promote yours, even if they've got a big list, right, and that they can help you. Now remember, why does this work, right? Why does this work? Well, your affiliate is going to be helping you to build a buyer's list. Everybody who buys, remember what happens to them? Well, they actually get sent to your autoresponder, right? They're going to actually be part of your product buying process, and you will not have to have built the traffic. You will have basically paid your affiliates a sales commission, but they will be bringing the traffic, right? So it's a great system. Now, if you want to build a big, long-term list, learn to keep your affiliates happy, right? So don't have them promoting a product for you that you're going to have a lot of refunds on. Make sure if they're going to promote a product for you, it's a high quality product that their buyers are going to like, they're going to love it, that they're going to, in effect, thank them for sending them an email about it. So, make sure your affiliates are, even better than your good friends in internet marketing. Keep them close and make them happy if you want to build a long-term list. Every buyer that comes through that list, they're going to end up on your autoresponder. Okay, so with that, thanks. I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies. In this video, we're going to be talking about something a little technical, but it's going to be something necessary that you want to do. And you may know about this already. It may not necessarily fit in the advanced course. It might be something you know about, but it is a necessary part and you must do it. So we're going to go over it anyway. Your buyers will be going on to one of your lists. We already talked about that. When somebody buys, they're either going to get sent automated to your email marketing list, or you're going to make it almost irresistible for them to do so in order for them to get updates, in order for them to get new things from you. They're going to want to sign up as soon as they get to the download page. Either one of those should put them on your buyers list. Now, you are going to want to set up a separate prospect list. You don't want to communicate with prospects in the same way that you do buyers. So if you are sending prospects to a squeeze page, people who have not bought from you, do not send them to this list, right? Send them to a separate list that you are segmenting. Now, if you're going to do that, you want to set that list up so that as soon as someone buys a product and gets sent to your buyer list, that they're automatically taken off the prospect list. And you can do that with your automation settings. Now, it goes without saying, these are two separate lists. These are two separate people. They've got two different attitudes. You need to communicate to them differently than you do your buyers. Both lists, you should be building a relationship with both of them, right? But you can do list segmentation on both Aweber and GetResponse, probably some of the other autoresponders. But basically what you're doing is you are keeping two separate lists, your buyers on one list, your prospects on the other, because you want to get your prospects to buy from you initially. You want to continue to build a relationship with your buyers so that you can continue to give them high quality information and that you can get them to buy again. Okay, so with that, you can continue to build a list on an ongoing basis. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies. In this video, we're going to be discussing the buyer infiltration method. It might be something that you may have heard about before, but it's a very basic thing, and it's another way for you to get buyers into your list and for you to be able to market to them. And you can do this anytime you want to activate new buyers into your list that may or may not know about you or your product. You can use this method. You want to work with people you've already established a relationship with. So you should already, remember I said at the beginning of the course, your relationship building should never stop. You should always build relationships with old and new product creators and bloggers and influential people in your niche. Be building all the time. Add your product to a popular one. Right, so in other words, if they've got a launch coming out, you want to be on the inside of that product. You want to be, and I'll tell you what that means here in a minute. Basically, what you're going to be doing, if you've established a true market value for the product you've already created. See, remember I said not a lot of people may know about the product you've created already. You've got an established market value for that product. That's why we did that first. That's why it's important. It's an established product. It's already generated sales. Hopefully it's already got some testimonials. So people will see this and they'll want to buy it. Maybe they didn't want to buy it when they saw it before. Maybe they didn't know about it. But when they see it and they understand that there is a dollar value and they're going to actually get it free if they buy the more popular product. In other words, you're putting your product on the inside of the launched product, and when they buy it, they're going to get access to yours free if they opt in, right? So basically, they buy the product, the big product launch, they go to the download page, and then there's your product that they get access to free, and they get it by opting in, right? So now, as soon as they opt in, right? You're going to send them direct to the OTO. Now, you have already, right? You'll already be getting them to be part of your list because they don't get the product unless they opt in. They've got to complete the opt-in process in order to get access. So don't give them immediate access. Only give them access if they complete the opt-in process, right? And make sure that they also see the OTO when they sign up, right? So you will then have an opportunity then to monetize that situation. And of course, one of the great things about the OTO is that in that case, you will not be giving 50%. You'll get 100% of all the sales. And then it's really simple. The buyer infiltration method, you just repeat the process with other marketers. And basically, you're just building your list by having your high quality product on the inside of other products. And you can do this with as many products as you want. The key is having a product that already has established value. That's why you build the product early in the process and not at the end. So it's not after you build your list, it's before you build your list because the product is going to help you build your list. Right? So that's really the key to this entire strategy. It's going to help you to execute better, and it's going to help you to attract people who are buyers to your list. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to Advanced List Building Strategies. In this video, we are going to be learning how to create our next product. And remember, as many times you can create a product, you can go through this process again and again and again and again. It's going to start your ability to attract new affiliates who will promote this product, build your list, and do the buyer infiltration method as many times as you can do it. So the question then is, well, how do I keep creating products? And the key to high selling products is social proof. Now, you might think that it's new ideas, and it isn't. The key to high selling products, you can take an existing idea that you can have added your twist to if you can prove that you have made money with it. So in other words, you are actually going to take, maybe two methods, combine them, use them in order to make money, and build social proof. So really the key there is that you actually do use an information product to make money, and you document it, right? You document your process. Now, your job to create your next product is just by getting results. So, whether you take two methodologies or three methodologies or create something brand new, get results where you made real money. And that really will help you. Now, of course, you can go get private label rights products. I know that. You can go and get an interview product. I know that. All those are things that you can do. Now, I'm not talking about those things because everyone does them, right? And so they are not going to be unique high sellers. I mean, if you're going to create a piece of software, make sure it really is unique and make sure it really does help people to do some of the things that they need to do to solve problems. You should be testing different theories and adding your own twist to them, right? You should be doing that in order to create your next product, if that's a way. Now, again, the key is going to be that you actually make money with them. So now when you have a process where you can record your results, you're winning, right? You have a winning formula, you have a winning product, you can then start creating and go to market. Now, make sure that your process actually does solve a problem, right? So if your buyer doesn't, if it's something that really doesn't save your buyer time, and yeah, you can make money, but they've got to work 36 hours a day, then you haven't solved the problem. If they've got to spend a lot of money in order to make a little bit of money, you haven't really solved the problem for them, right? Anybody can do that if they stick with it long enough. That's not necessarily solving any problems. You can help them to make money faster. You can help them make money while they're at their full-time job. Then you solve the problem, right? And if you can do that, then you really do have a product that people are going to buy. Once you have a product, you can restart the processes like I just said. You could do the buyer infiltration method, right? And build a buyer's list based by, getting your product on the inside of other big marketers' products. But if you keep doing this, you'll be a big marketer with a big list yourself. Okay, and of course, then you can get affiliates to promote the product straight up, and they will help you to build your list. Okay, so really, that's really it. Remember, the key is going to be to creating your own products. You can continue this process as many times as you want to build your list, as long as you create the product first. And with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, welcome back to the final video of advanced list building strategies, and in our conclusion, just want to hit some of the high points here that we have talked about. And remember now, you're going to make more money in the long run because you're building buyers lists. So the key to this whole strategy, that's why we're not going the safe list right now. You can still do all those other things, but we're going to go to the buyers route first, because we want to find people who we know buy products in our niche, right? And that's going to give us a better chance of being able to sell to them. Now, you can still use swaps and safe lists. You can still use those things, but you want to use them in conjunction with a list that you already know is making money. Remember, a high percentage of those people are really going to be getting freebies. They're interested in what they can get. They're not necessarily going to be interested in becoming a buyer right away. So when you have a list of buyers, you want to be selective about the affiliate products that you mail offers for, right? So don't just send an offer for a launch just because there is one, right? You don't want to pimp your list like this in order to make a lot of money. That's not, you want to do this slowly. You want to create value for them. You basically want to make sure they understand that you are interested in their making money, and they're growing their business, right? Use webinars to educate your prospects and provide value, and your buyers. So you want to build relationships, but you also want to provide value. Give them educational webinars in order to help them to build their business. And you're not selling anything. Don't put them on the webinar just to sell to them. Put them on the webinar so you can help them. Right? You don't want people, you want people to be loyal to you. You want people that when you send out an email, you want them to open it. Start the buyer infiltration method to activate new buyers into your list whenever you create a product. So remember, as many times as you can create and start that process and create a product, you can start the process of the buyer infiltration method. And the key to all this, the key that makes these things work, is relationships. Right? It's going to be relationships. Remember, you're going to keep your friends close and your affiliates closer. So if you are continuously building solid relationships where you know that someone will help you to promote, where you can promote their product, where they have an understanding, they'll work with you in doing the buyer infiltration method, then those are going to be the folks that you want to work with. And you want to continue to expand your network by making relationships with people whom you can help and who can help you. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will either see you in the next video if you choose to start the program again, or in another course. Thanks.